Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video for Valheim. In this video, as the title suggests, I'm going to show you 5 unraidable base ideas, or bases if you want to go down that route. Now, these are all bases that I've built and tried out. Now, when I say unraidable, I mean unraidable by the NPCs in the game. So we're going to go on to the first base. I did show you this in a previous video. This was initially a pit hole where I put NPCs to fight against each other. But I did, for the purposes of this video, kind of build out a base just to kind of show you what you can achieve with it. So the way this works out and how it was built is I started by digging a hole as deep as I could go, then leveled that out, and then all the way around I basically used the hole to raise the ground, and I ended up with this. So basically I created an outer wall, if that makes sense, that is raised off the ground. Now of course that section right there, that is a bit low to the ground, so I could probably dig it out if I want to and make that steeper if I choose to. So as you can see, this is the lip over here. Now here we have the main entrance, which could be like a sort of like a dining hall or something like that if you want it like that. Of course this isn't the base I'm going to use, I just did it for illustration purposes. Over here we had some issues with the structural support for the roof, so I had to improvise. But we do have like a little loft area where I could probably store some chests. We have like a little balcony. You'll notice that I'm a big fan of like balcony type of structures in here because you can build stuff that I think look pretty cool. And the game does have some really nice environments to actually enjoy, so why not? So here we have the stairs that goes down, and here we have our first underground floor, which is empty because I didn't know what to do with it. But it's up to you how you choose to design it. I did go 2 walls down. Again, another 2 walls down, we have another floor which could be the main living quarters and stuff like that. I mean, it still is a bit empty, and again, I didn't focus too much on the effectiveness of the resting buff, which you can do when you build that up. I would probably center everything, so that way of course you'll get the resting buff. Over here we have the crafting station, which is the ground floor, or the floor with the ground, because hey, why not? But as you can see, we have everything that we could possibly need. A crafting station down there, it's pretty unraidable. The only problem that you may potentially have with this building is the dragons. If they decide to raid you, it's kind of random what you'll get, but if you do get something like that, then that might cause a problem. And what's nice about this is that you can build this structure pretty much anywhere in Valheim, and you can go as big as you want, really. The only thing to bear in mind is the type of support. So this is what it looks like from the outside, and what I meant by the type of support is I wouldn't build it as a giant circle, but maybe as a oval type structure, so that way you get the outer walls acting as a support structure. The next one right here, this is one that I really like, and this was one that I actually built more or less legit. This is basically a little island that I found, then I built up on it. Now what you have to bear in mind is if you build a base on the water like this, you will have to go higher up, because sometimes in storms, as you can see, the water will swell and you'll end up floating. So what I had to do is I gathered loads of wood. It took me weeks to build this one up. We have like a little path going into it. Of course we have like a little staircase, but all this was legitly farmed and it took a long time. But when we get a storm, because I had to build it upward, that means basically my things don't float anymore, neither do I. It was probably just above the water level that you see now, and sometimes through a storm the water does kind of swell, and I didn't like that, so it kind of bugged me out. But over here we have like a little garden. We have a little crafting area right there with the smelter and the kiln. We have another bench there that allowed us to build, another one right here that allowed us to build. We have some animal pens right here. These guys are a bit kooky and I don't really like the boars, but I mean, I find it easier to just kind of farm the boars. So this was something that I then just added to and played around with it. But this was my initial base, and this like was legit over here. Again, I went and farmed everything. That's why close to the land there's a lack of trees. And we have a bed up here as well, because I didn't know what to do with this space and I just wanted to fill it out with something. We do have a gate that takes us to the next location, so I'll show you that. But this again is an unraidable base. And I know it's unraidable because I did have to deal with trolls and they couldn't even touch me. So next one is in the Swamp Biome. This is one of my favorite bases. This is actually my second favorite base, just because you can build up in the trees. And I didn't go too large with this one. But again, it is unraidable. These trees are not destructible or destroyable. You can't destroy them. NPCs can't cut them down, break them down, or damage them. So you can build up in the trees. And if I want to, I can expand over here if I want to. Very, very easy. I did start with a tree that was inclined. I built a ladder down there. So I'll show you this right here. We have the boss summoning altar, which is pretty cool. I can also use this as a outpost to kill the boss if I choose to do so. So we've got the stairs basically going upwards. I've got a little path that I made, and then it goes into the bottom of this tree trunk, which is inclined. We've got the stairs going up. This is the main entrance right here. Now, I'm going to show you this section right here because this is basically with little tiles, and then we have the full-size floor tile, which I can then remove and fire down on the bone mass when I do decide to summon him and fight him, making the fight ridiculously easy. Bone mass can't do absolutely anything to me. He just basically waddles around doing his own thing, and I just pepper him with the arrows. Over here we have some stairs going up to the roof. I did have a video for this as well. This is, as I said, one of my favorite bases, second favorite base actually. I like the swamp biome for that reason. Over here we have, again, and you see this again, we have some crafting stations. Now the way I place these down is by basically placing down the stone flooring on top of the wooden flooring, and then that allows us to place down the kiln, the forge, and everything else that we may need, including campfires. I did have to put up some shelves to add all of the other bits and pieces that improves the workstations, and of course in the roof we have like a little hole. And so here, of course, is a little corridor that leads into what I would call the living area. And I did want to kind of have this sort of open area that allows me to look outwards. So this is the living area. We've got another little balcony. Yes, it's dark in the swamp, it's wet, but it's still nice to have this little structure to look out on. And we can see loads of branches in this section. Of course, the branches from the tree do act as the supporting structure. They basically are the equivalent of the ground, and so I can build on top of them, which is what I did. And over here we have the bed. Again, I didn't go too crazy with what I put down, but I do like the overall design and idea of it. And this is just me limiting the size of the build. You can build so much more. You can build on multiple levels in these trees. I think it is pretty freaking cool. So obviously this will be the central hub because we've got all of the portals here, so I can quick travel to other locations. Next location I'm going to go into would be the snow biome, or the mountain biome. This is where you have to fight Mother. Now, of course, as always, I like to build my bases close to the boss spawning locations, and this is a different design. However, it is still unraidable. So we are on the top floor. We've got all the crafting stations that we may need. We have a campfire here, not completely finished. We could very easily build a chimney here. And this structure right here in the center is actually in itself a chimney stroke supporting structure for the build. I'll show you that later on. Now, that's not, as I said, not finished. We could definitely come down with an angled wall and then empty a wall in there and basically just lead the smoke into the other chimney. We do have two chimneys in this structure. So we've got a brazier there. There's a reason I put it there, and there's a brazier basically is attached to the beam. So we go down to the main floor, which would be the throne room, if you want to call it. We've got some pillars down here. We've got that brazier right here. Now, braziers make smoke, and of course, you don't want to get killed in your own base by smoke. Notice that there are lips all the way around it, so basically, that kind of catches the smoke and funnels it into the center structure, which basically is a giant chimney. We have another chimney there, and we've got a balcony over here just so we can look out and enjoy the snow biome. And on this side right here, we have like a little courtyard. Now, I could have enclosed it if I chose to do so. I just like the idea of having a courtyard. It just kind of mixes up the design for the bases. And we've got a staircase leading up to the roof if I don't fall off, and that's why I put rails on my staircases most often, because I do stupid stuff like that. And so this is what it looks like here at the top. As you can see, 2 chimneys coming out. Now, I'm going to show you this right here. So I built up a staircase leading to the main structure, to the main base, but notice that it's steep going downwards. So what I did there is basically I dug that one out, then leveled it. So that means structures will not be hit or attacked by the golems. The NPCs can only just come up the stairs, but then basically they're being funneled. So it's still a very unraidable base. I'll show you this from this angle right here. It does make it quite difficult for the NPCs to get to me in this location, so I lived quite happily here. I mean, I did take most of my stuff back to other bases. Didn't really spend much time here, but it is quite effective at keeping the NPCs out if you choose to build something like this. So basically building a cliff edge around your base does actually help quite a bit. And the other thing to note is that I built the base on the tippy top of a mountain, so that means basically I use the height advantage. So off to the next and the final base, which is my favorite, and that is in the plains. So we'll wait for this to teleport. There we go. And this is my personal favorite base. I'm trying to remember how to get out of here so I can show you the outside. I do get confused. So this is one of the floors that you saw in a previous video. I did make a video showcasing the build here. So let's have a look at this base. So as you can see, there is a moat going all the way around it. I did raise the ground with the use of a hoe, and that is indestructible. There's also a moat, and the AI for the NPCs does not want to go off a cliff, so they'll tend to walk around the moat aimlessly, and I can be on top of my little wall just shooting them down if I choose to do so. The only real problem might be the death mosquitoes, which are easy to deal with if you have access to a bow and arrows, which you shoot by this time. It doesn't even take a strong bow. But I'm going to show you what it looks like around, and then we're going to go up the stairs. There's already a death mosquito there, which, yeah, I mean, this is the basic idea. You can design and build it however you please, but this is the staircase. We go up the stairs, and then at this point we start getting into what would be the main building. We do have a nice view if we do want to have a look out there. I really like the design of the staircase leading up to the main building, and believe it or not, it's actually quite big on the inside, although I did build around the structure that was already there, which is, by the way, indestructible. To be fairly honest, it is, as I said, an amazing structure to build on top of. So we come in the main entrance right here. This would be the main floor. I do like this whole look right here. I think, to me, this is pretty cool. It's a kind of original look sort of thing. So we go on this main floor right here where we have all of the crafting stations that I could build. Now, of course, with the kiln and the smelter and stuff like that, you need to place them on the ground. So to basically achieve that, we used, again, the stone structures. So this is one of the structures right here. Now, notice that it goes all the way into the roof. So I had to basically remove 4 tiles, then place down this particular forge right here, a smelter, and then close the roof off with the wooden tiles. Now I did want to go with wood because I do like the design of wood, and of course we have everything that we need here. Of course we do also have the chimneys that are basically at a 90-degree angle that funnel the smoke outside. So up here we have a staircase going further up. We have a little big type of balcony, which could do with some ornaments, I think. We have the gate that we just came through, another little balcony here because we like open spaces. And over here we have the chimney for the smelter at the bottom, and we have a campfire on top of a stone floor. And as you can see, the chimney is angled at a 90-degree angle, so that basically catches the smoke there, and then it just funnels it outwards. We have a little storage area, which I'm never going to use because I have a ton of wood and stone. That just looks nice, so I just thought it would be a nice thing to put down to act as a filler. Otherwise it'd be very empty. So we go up one more level, and over here we have another floor which is kind of empty. I didn't put down anything, but again, you can make use of this space and have stuff. You can have storage boxes. We have like a little balcony corner area, and over here we have another balcony right here, so we can look out. And of course the mosquito wants to pester us, but we can get a nice view of the environment around us. These doors are a bit derpy at times, so trying to shut the door. Actually, the gates that I've used, not the normal doors. I don't like the normal doors because they're tiny. So obviously oh god, that's annoying. These are basically 1.5 walls tall. So this is the main living quarters. It is basically the loft, if you want to call it. But I do like the lofty look of it, if that makes sense. And we have like a little chill out balcony here, which I like. This is one of my favorite features for this particular building. And of course I did use the tippy top of the pillar that we built up as supporting structure for the roof, which otherwise would not stand up by itself. So again, another fireplace there with a chimney going up. Yeah, so this is what it looks like from the outside. There's plenty of space here, and you can build even bigger. And the only trouble that you might get is from flying creatures, but that is the exact same for all of these buildings, and I don't think there's a way around that. However, all of these bases are unraidable. I've played around with the bases and had raids and stuff, and they were very effective at keeping the NPCs out. To be fairly honest, I didn't even bother fighting them. I just waited for the raid to go away and just kept doing my own thing. And all of these bases were built more or less with the use of the hoe and the pick. So once you take down Ichthyr, or whatever the first boss is called, you can basically go nuts with regards to building your base. It's quite fun, and I think that is more or less the essential tool for all of these bases. So yeah, definitely the hoe and the pick are the best things that you can get. With that being said and done, that is pretty much it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please do not forget to support me on the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so they get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description. And until next time, stay safe, folks.